Welcome to the WION podcast, where we explore fascinating stories and ideas from various fields. In this episode, we uncover why humanity, after conquering the moon more than 50 years ago, suddenly stopped going back, exploring how politics, money, lost infrastructure, and shifting priorities turned our greatest space triumph into one of history's biggest unanswered questions. NASA is once again working to put humans on the moon. The last time this happened was in 1972, when the Apollo mission ended. Between 1969 and 1972, the Apollo program sent 12 astronauts to the lunar surface. So why wasn't it done again? Why did the moon missions stop? And why have humans never returned to the moon? Over the years, these questions have given rise to conspiracy theories that the moon landings were faked. Why else would we not go back? However, there are several factors that led to the moon being sidelined from space missions. One of the biggest ones is the shifting political will. With the Apollo missions, the United States wanted to show its scientific supremacy over the Soviet Union. It was like a Cold War weapon, just based on science. The goal was achieved, and so the government saw no need to spend billions of dollars of taxpayers' money on repetitive missions. Besides, by the early 1970s, the US had to deal with the Vietnam War and internal social issues. According to records, the Apollo program cost roughly $25.8 billion at the time. In today's terms, that amount translates to over $260 billion. That's a lot of money, and NASA could not spend such a huge chunk on just the moon when it had other things to deal with. NASA's budget was nearly 4.5% of the total federal budget at one time. But it started falling, and today it sits at less than 0.5%. After humans landed on the moon, and that too for nearly 4 years, NASA started to think about other projects. It had to decide on more such exploration as compared to establishing a human presence in orbit. The space agency shifted its focus from deep space exploration to establishing a permanent presence in space. So the space shuttle was designed. It was reusable and could take frequent trips to space, although each of them proved pretty expensive. NASA moved to placing a space station in Earth's orbit and more satellites. People often say that humans lost the technology to return to the moon. However, what they really lost was the industrial capacity to do so. Sending humans to the moon required massive rockets, like Saturn V, the rocket used for Apollo missions. The humongous rocket was no longer being manufactured. The specialized factories making them were dismantled. The engineers who built Apollo also retired, and their hands-on expertise wasn't passed down because there were no new lunar missions to work on. Even though 12 men landed on the moon over 4 years, the Apollo missions weren't exactly foolproof in terms of safety. Experts say they were incredibly dangerous, and the level of risk the Apollo astronauts took would never be approved today. So scientists started working on safer ways to send humans to the moon, leading to the birth of Artemis. The new mission needs to be sustainable and help support longer stays. Artemis 2 is scheduled to take off on February 8th, with several more dates also lined up in case of a problem. This would be the first time since the Apollo missions that humans would leave Earth's orbit. A crew of 4 astronauts will fly over the moon and return, checking all safety support systems. Thanks for tuning in to this incredible story. If this episode resonated with you, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button for more captivating stories to come. Stay tuned.